Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the match preview for the game between Collingwood and Fremantle this coming Sunday at the G. A massive clash. It's time for all things black and white. Funnily enough, the opposition, similar to Gold Coast, are in a position where they are that close to being a top four fancy versus just falling out of the 8. So this is a game where another opposition side just have all the chips down on the table for them. There's no other way around it. And this is a validation game for a team like Fremantle. So you can only expect that they are going to give you everything that they have on it. And they brought in Hayden Young, by the way. So exactly like Gold Coast, besides the fact that Gold Coast have a game in hand, that's how similar they are in position. It's a massive, massive clash. And what can you say? If we look at what are the teams doing around them? Hawthorn have Port. So Hawthorn beat Port. Gold Coast and Adelaide is obviously a massive clash for how the top 8 ends up playing out. Geelong should beat St Kilda. I think it's at GMHBA. GWS and Sydney will be sure to also shape up the... Is it? Up next, North Melbourne. Up next, Sydney. That's a bit confusing. Am I missing something? Anyways, doesn't matter. You get the point, right? We're here, and we are probably 2 wins away from sealing and consolidating top 2. This is handy, the fact that Brisbane are playing the Dogs, although the Dogs are flat track bullies. Maybe they can pull something off against a really impressive Brisbane side. So we'll be watching that very closely tonight, by the way. And then there was Adelaide, who were playing Gold Coast. So, forget about relying on other results. We haven't done that all year. We did that for the entirety of 2024, playing catch-up. We don't need that this year. We haven't needed that. We're a great offensive side. Maybe we don't accumulate the same level of inside 50s that other teams get, but when we go inside 50, we hurt them. And look at this defensive record. 1,154 points against. Nobody's near it, really. Adelaide, surprisingly, are actually a really good defensive side. I remember, was it 2023? They scored, or was it maybe even last year, they scored the most points in the league, but also conceded more than they had scored, or something crazy like that. So that's that. Let's look at the match preview. So this is the big conversation here for Fremantle. They've brought in Hayden Young. And Hayden Young is their best player when he's fit and firing. It's going to be interesting. This Predictor 23 that we do is going to be a rolling Predictor 23. So on Tuesday it started as what it was with Houston in the side. Houston no longer in the side. We heard about McStay playing in the back line, and this is where we landed last night. So I'll just go and do that. Okay. This is where we landed last night before the team came out. Now, we sort of just went around the back line and looked at what the picture would look like if Dean wasn't in the side. And we said, okay, let's Hoskin Elliott as a pseudo key tall, pair him in to play a bit taller, Quaynor and Brazzy to do their thing, and Darcy Moore to lock in on Josh Tracy and Luke Jackson when he's in the forward line. And then if all hell breaks loose down back, just move this magnet into the back line and bring Hoskin Elliott into the forward line. But now, if we go to this, we go Sunday. The extended teams came out, but what the lineup tells us 2 things, yeah? I'll do this again. This is what it tells us. It tells us Charlie Dean is playing because he's listed in the starting 23. It also tells us, who else was there? Lipinski is playing, which is no real surprise. So really, as far as who may be omitted, could be Tom Mitchell and could be Markov, could be Rowan Steele. I think it's going to be Tom Mitchell. What do we say here? If we go, it's a rolling sort of thing, isn't it? Let's go back here. Did we keep Steele in? I did. So we're thinking of keeping Steele in, Ed Allen in, but this is what changes after the announcement. So with that being considered, I don't think Steele actually holds the side. I don't think he holds in the side. Because Sullivan is also on the bench. I think we see something like this, really. That's where it lands. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're looking at 5 ins, and I think Coxie holds. I think Coxie holds because, that's where I got it wrong. This is what's changed. I think what changed here is Membry is being managed, which there was sort of rumours around being managed and timing that with the birth of his newborn. So therefore, what we will see is perhaps we do this. McCreary usually plays higher up the ground anyways. He's not really a goal scorer. He's a pressure forward. And then this is how I think it finalises tonight. So 5:30 is when the teams come out. So we'll do a live stream for that. I think Steele holds his spot. This is where we have landed. I'm pretty happy with that. 1, 2, 5 changes. It's a lot of changes. It's not ideal, but injured, omitted, injured, managed. So that's just where we are right now in this current environment. July, cold, lots of running at training, like being at training that between sets of exercises or drills, footy drills, they are doing running. They are doing top up, sprint efforts in the middle. So it's a heavy workload right now that the Pie lads are on. So if we go back to here, this game, going back to that game in round 9, I remember we started slowly, didn't we? We did. I think Freo kicked the first 3 goals. Can't afford that at the Coliseum, at the MCG. I think let's show their lack of experience at the G, at their age. I think we need to spook them from what there is to expect in a final series at the MCG. I believe this game was a pretty comfortable win at the G in the finals. I do remember that one. So more of that would be nice. Less of these umpire things would be great. And a faster start here would be good. Anything else that's worth noting? The fascination for me is the Luke Jackson, Sean Darcy versus Mason Cox and Darcy Cameron matchup. I think that will be really intriguing. What is Sean Darcy's time on ground like? It would be relatively low. 62% for someone who's never really the sub is quite low. Everyone else here seems to have played sub or maybe been injured. So he actually probably shares a similar time on ground with Mason Cox, and I think we just lined that up with Mason. Yeah, there you go. So I think those two ruckmen, they'll go at each other for a little bit, and then the main event between Luke Jackson and Darcy Cameron will be the main course for the majority of the game. Anything else? Venue, 10 wins at the G compared to Freo's 3. Seeing, really looking forward to the pace injection from Beau McCreary. Looking at Bobby Hill at training, he actually already looks like he's ready to go. I would have liked to have seen Bobby Hill play, but we do have that luxury of the record we have at the moment. So we go to Richmond next week, and I think Bobby comes back to that, does his thing. I think Geordie will come back next week, potentially. He was looking good at training. It'll be interesting to see if Charlie Dean is getting outworked by Freo's front line. I could see Charlie, if it's going horribly, I could see Charlie Dean getting subbed and then McStay swinging back to give a different look. I can see that happening. Maybe Charlie Dean even goes forward. Something as crazy as that. But that is absolute worst case scenario. I think that will do for the match preview. We're getting closer and closer, and I can't wait. I'll be there. So if anyone's there, looking forward to seeing you all there. Until then, go Pies.